You ever get pulled over for literally nothing, like you're just driving, minding your business, and suddenly, you're the suspicious vehicle? Yeah, that happened. Except in my case I'm a federal judge. And that night, none of it mattered. It was around 8:20 p.m., summer dusk, Route 197 in Bowie, Maryland, that quiet kind of evening where headlights are just starting to punch through the purple sky. I was heading home, still in my robes from a justice reform panel in Montgomery, too tired to change, too used to being on all day. I wasn't speeding, wasn't swerving, wasn't doing anything that would raise a flag, but apparently, driving while black in a black Mercedes is all it takes. I noticed him before he lit me up, parked off to the side, angled just right like he'd done this 100 times before. Officer Kyle Brenner. Probably bored out of his mind until my car came into view. Tinted windows, out-of-state plates, nothing illegal, just enough for him to get curious. Or irritated. I had to tell with guys like that. He tailed me for maybe 30 seconds before flipping on the siren. I pulled over near a Shell station, rolled the window down, and waited. He came up, flashlight straight in my face like I was about to pull a weapon out of my clutch. License and registration, he barked. No explanation, no hello. I said, "Officer, may I ask why I was stopped?" And he didn't answer. Just scanned my back seat like I had something to hide. Then he muttered something about my tints being too dark and my tags looking off. "Are you local?" he asked. I said, "I live in Potomac. I'm a federal judge, returning from an event." Handed him my ID, judicial badge, driver's license, registration. All of it. He barely glanced at them. Then he rested his hand on the top of his holster and said, "Step out of the vehicle." And I just blinked. On what grounds? Obstruction, he snapped too fast, like it was rehearsed. "You're refusing to comply." Let me back up a sec. I had already complied. Everything he asked for, I gave him. But now it was about control. So I leaned over, pressed record on my phone, set it on the dash, and said calmly, "I have a legal right to know why I'm being asked to exit my car." He didn't like that. "You wanna do this the hard way," he barked, like he was the one being wronged. Then it got real quiet. Cars drove by slow, some honking. The lights above the gas station buzzed like bugs. And across the street, this kid outside the 7-Eleven was filming the whole thing on his phone. He didn't yell, didn't say a word, just stood there, watching. That kid. He's why you're hearing this story. Back to the stop. Brenner reached for my door handle, tried to open it. Locked. He slapped the glass with his palm, frustrated. "Unlock the door, Mom." No, just one word. No anger, no drama. Just no. He stepped back for a second. I could see him calculating. Then I said, "Officer, you are violating protocol. I am recording this for my safety, and you have no legal grounds to enter this vehicle." He paused. Just long enough for me to know he heard me. Not because I was loud, but because I wasn't. That threw him more than anything. Then came the line. The one that changed everything. "You people always think you can talk your way out of things. You people." He said it like it meant nothing. Like it slipped out from somewhere deep. That's when a second cruiser pulled up. A sergeant stepped out, Rick Harlan. Older, quiet type. Walked up slow, took one look at me, one look at my ID, and said, "Judge Grant." I nodded. He turned to Brenner and didn't say much, just, "Go sit in the car." And to me, "Are you alright, Mom?" "I am," I said. But I was just threatened with illegal search after identifying myself. "I understand," he said. "And that's going in my report." He handled it, sure, but the damage was done. Within 12 hours, the video from the kid across the street had gone viral. Facebook, TikTok, Reddit. Captions over Brenna's voice, "You people always think you can talk your way out of things." It hit the internet like a brick through glass. By morning, my inbox was full: journalists, colleagues, students, even the governor's office. Everyone had something to say except me. I stayed quiet. Not because I was afraid, but because I needed to figure out what justice even looked like in a situation like this. Then came the press conference. Not planned but necessary. I stood outside the courthouse, cameras everywhere, and said what needed to be said. I complied. I identified myself. And I was still treated like a threat. "This isn't about me," I told them. "It's about how fast a traffic stop turns into a power play and how rare it is when someone catches it on camera." One reporter asked if I thought he should be fired. I said, "That's not for me to decide. That's for a system that says it cares about accountability. We'll see if it means what it says." Brenna was suspended. Then he resigned. No apology, just a quiet exit. But the story, it stuck. The footage lives on. It's being shown in classrooms, legal panels, even police training now, apparently. But you wanna know the truth? I didn't speak up to become a headline. I spoke up because if a judge in full robes can get treated like a suspect, what hope does a teenager with a hoodie and no phone have? So here's the question I'll leave you with: if that kid hadn't been standing there filming, how do you think this story would have ended? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Right or wrong, justice or just lucky?